Australian researchers believe they're on the verge of a medical breakthrough that could melt tumours in two types of cancers. But the study has hit a more fundamental problem: the need for more funding.
At just 40 years old, Pilates instructor Justine Dillon was left facing a devastating diagnosis.
There's no cure. You will never be cured. That's pretty hard to hear at 40 when you have a 6-year-old son and you're married.
Justine was told she had stage 4 bowel cancer in July this year. Chemotherapy is working.
However, they've said it will definitely come back.
Justine is part of pioneering research into so-called master switch antibodies that scientists discovered while studying malaria.
These antibodies that actually wake up the dendritic cells then see the cancer and take the message to their foot soldiers, the T cell, and says to the T cell, this is cancer, you've got to kill it. The antibodies, we call it a master switch because it also then helps the T cell function better.
Preclinical trials on 2 types of cancer are promising.
When I first saw the cancer clearing inbuilt triple negative in the breast cancer model as well as in the colon cancer model, it was mind-blowing, let's put it that way.
We have these tumours, we give the therapy, and the tumours actually disappear, they melt away.
80% haven't grown back after 10 months.
We certainly haven't seen this in bowel cancer before, so it's really exciting.
But the study has hit a hurdle.
In clinical trials is a very expensive space. For many scientists, it's called the valley of death. It basically means that if you don't get money in that stage, the project dies.
Definitely when you're a mother and you have a child that needs you, you need to be alive. And to hear that there's just money stopping it in the way, I think surely we can do something to get funding for this.
Anna Rawlings, 9 News.
Any of us who've had a loved one go through chemotherapy understands the hardships that come with that treatment. But now Australian scientists believe they're on the brink of developing a master switch that activates the immune system to target particular cancer cells. And joining us now is Associate Professor Michelle Wyke, who is the leader of the promising research at QIMR Berghofer. Professor, thank you so much for your time. This has the potential to change how cancer is treated. Tell us how it works.
We basically have developed an immunotherapy. Immunotherapies are antibodies. And what happens with cancer? Cancer is the body's own cells that are growing incredibly rapidly, changing all the time. And cells known as dendritic cells, I call them generals of the immune army, their job is to recognize there is cancer and then to stimulate T cells, another sort of effector cell, to go and kill the cancer. What's happening with these 2 particular cancers, triple negative breast cancer and colon cancer, I might add that affects 85% of those who suffer from the disease, is that they are invisible to the dendritic cell, and so the dendritic cell doesn't do its job. Our treatment targets the dendritic cell and wakes it up. It recognizes the cancer. It is then able to go to a T cell and provide directions to the T cell of what cancer to kill and how to kill it. The T cells also get stimulated by our antibody and they can then kill the cancer cell. And because of this 2-pronged effect, we're having good success.
Funding, I guess, is always a huge roadblock for medical research, no matter how important it is. What can the community do to help support these trials?
Well, we're at this point where we've done all the basic work, and the next big step is a clinical trial where we will test it in patients. The step between where we are and that clinical trial is called the Valley of Death. Basically, a lot of amazing projects die out because they don't get money to go to that next step. And so we're asking anyone out there who can help us get to the next step by donating little or small amounts, just so that we can address all the issues that are required to get to a clinical trial and hopefully then be able to further it into a treatment for patients.
The reality is that chemotherapy can provide itself some forms of complications with people who are being treated with cancer, and it can really just make people feel generally terrible. Are there any side effects with your treatment?
So no, that's one of the things we all obviously look for, and we found no symptoms in our preclinical studies. You've got to remember, chemotherapy is almost a poison that you put in to kill cancer cells, any rapidly proliferating cell, growing cell. In ours, we're basically training the immune system to go out there and with finesse only kill cancer cells.
It sounds so promising, Professor. We wish you the best of luck.